So yesterday, the United States Senate, by a 50-49 vote, passed their budget resolution, which is the foundation that is needed in order to submit any bill through budget reconciliation. This was entirely expected. We knew that the Senate was going to pass the budget resolution. The House also must pass the budget resolution, and it must be the identical one that the Senate passes, and we expect that to happen again. Right down party lines, meaning all the Democrats voted for it, all the Republicans voted against it. Now the foundation is completely set. Once the House passes the identical resolution, that now a budget reconciliation stimulus bill can be put forth and then passed much more easily through the House and the Senate. Chuck Schumer, who is now the Senate Majority Leader, when asked how Biden felt about this, said Joe Biden is totally on board with us using reconciliation. I've been talking to him every day. Our staffs have been talking multiple times a day. Now, Biden has also recently come out and said that he is in favor of looking at targeting the stimulus payments a little bit more. Not the amount of money. He wants to keep it at $1,400, but he is willing to target who gets it. And so when pressed on the upcoming stimulus checks, Biden said, "Let's stick together. I have your back, and I hope you'll have mine." He's speaking directly to the leaders in both the House and the Senate. And on the amount of the $1,400 check, whether or not he's willing to lower that, he said, "I am not going to start out by breaking a promise to the American people." He made a promise that he would give the American people a $2,000 stimulus check. A lot of people are already upset about that because $1,400 is not $2,000. But what he's doing is he's combining the $1,400 with the $600 that was already passed to get the $2,000. That's not flying with everybody. It's flying with some people, but not everyone. And he's saying if he lowers the $1,400 amount, then he's going to be breaking his promise totally. And that would definitely totally be true. If not, he's already broken it, but he's not willing to lower the amount. But he did add this: we can better target the number. I'm okay with that. So what this means is instead of the wage limit being $75,000 for a single filer and $150,000 for joint filing, it may lower down to something like $50,000 or even $40,000 for a single filer and $80,000 or $100,000 for joint filers. But this begs the question, why is Biden willing to make a concession like that? Because they're going to pass this stimulus bill through budget reconciliation. It's going to easily pass the House. When it gets to the Senate, they don't even need one Republican vote. However, if every single Republican votes against this, they will need every Democrat vote. And right now, they don't have every Democrat vote. And that's why Biden's willing to make a concession on the wage limit for this bill. Senator Joe Manchin, who is a Democrat in the Senate, said, "I will vote to move forward with the budget process because we must address the urgency of the COVID-19 crisis. But let me be clear, and these are words that I shared with President Joe Biden, our focus must be targeted on the COVID-19 crisis and the Americans who have been most impacted by it, i.e., he doesn't want to see a lot of pork in there that's not related to the COVID-19 crisis, and he doesn't want to see that money going to people who earn too much, meaning they don't really need the help, so let's lower the wage limit on that number." And this is why Joe Biden is willing to make that concession, because he doesn't even have every Democrat. But rest assured, the amount is going to stay $1,400. So what's next? The Senate already passed their budget resolution. The House this week must also pass the identical budget resolution. This is not something that needs to be signed by the President of the United States. This is something that's just passed by both the House and the Senate. Once they do that, they can now be allowed to move forward in constructing a bill through budget reconciliation. Up until this point, they have not been allowed to do that. But once the resolution is passed through both houses, and that will happen this week, of course, they can then move forward in finally putting together the bill, the stimulus bill with the $1,400 checks and the boost to unemployment. They can now start doing that in the upcoming weeks, which I expect to be introduced into the House the week of February 22nd to February 26th, and then passed by the House of Representatives, then sent off to the Senate, most likely around March 1st, and it's likely going to include that limited amount for wage earners, probably $40,000 or $50,000 single filer, $80,000 to $100,000 joint filer. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just reading into everything they're saying. And if it does include that, it will be more targeted. And Senator Joe Manchin will in fact vote for this. And all the other Democrats will also vote for it. And you may see every single Republican vote against it. Maybe a couple will actually vote for it. And it will pass through the Senate right around March 1st. And President Joe Biden will in fact sign it. And it will be written into law really early March is when I see that happening. It looks like a 90% possibility at this point. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to try to string you along like this is going to really happen, but then it never does. This, in fact, does look like it's actually going to happen. So prepare yourself for it. You're going to see more checks coming in, and it's going to be $1,400, but the wage limit might be a little lower. So if you got some of these stimulus checks in the past and you were on the threshold, like if you're earning between $40,000 to $75,000, you might not be in the mix in this one, or you might get a little bit of a lesser amount as it tapers off to higher wages. As things become more and more clear, we will keep you up to date on all the important information. You guys are awesome as always. I will catch you next time.